Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening from our Finnish attendees. Love it. And we got someone from Denver, another Jane, and north of Durham. All right, we have a global crew per usual in our Product 101. Welcome. I'm Jane. I am on the marketing team here at Mighty Networks, and with me I have Marnie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marnie. I am, in charge of kind of all things customer. So excited to spend time with you. I love hearing your questions, showing off the product. And we also have some folks from our customer advocacy team that are with us today, too. You might see Brady. We also have Diana and Sagar. So, we're excited to be here and spend time with you today.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. You're going to leave here feeling like you have wrapped your head and your heart around this thing we like to call Mighty Networks. And so here are just a few housekeeping notes. This is being recorded for posterity. You can check it out in Mighty Host. We will post the recording there, but you can also just come back to this link anytime and rewatch it, spend some more time with Marnie and I. You know you want to. So what we are going to do today is we're going to answer a few of the questions you submitted in advance. A lot of them are around the same sort of topics, the same kind of broad questions. So we'll tackle some of those as we go through a tour of some Mighty Networks. We're going to talk about the structure of it, some best practices that we've learned over the years. You're also going to get a sneak peek into our community design masterclass, which just kicked off week 2 this week. It is not too late to join. You can click that link below to learn a little bit more. We're going to show you a few case studies, and we're going to try to take your questions. But as Marnie said, we have Brady, we have Sagar, we have Diana. They'll be in the chat, but there's a little feature called Ask a Question, and that's the best place to go. You can upvote other questions if you have the same one. The chat can start kind of moving. It can start flying. So go to Ask a Question to put your question in, and we'll be answering them in there as well. Sound good? We got somebody from Switzerland. Amazing. A European crew today. So we're going to try to go through everything, but time is short, time flies. We get excited talking about this stuff. So there may be a chance we don't get to all your questions, but I kind of want to just start with the existential, why are you here? What am I doing? Which is, how do I get started? How do I know people are going to show up for my community in the way I want them to? And so because our community design masterclass just kicked off, I kind of want to tell you about this thing called a big purpose, which is basically the fundamental thing. It is the one thing you need to build a successful community. And it is the reason why you are bringing people together to master something interesting or important. And you're bringing people together to do this in a way that they can't do. They're not going to Google it and get these results. They're not able to do it anywhere else, but in this very intentional network you are creating. So you can learn more about the big purpose through community design. We have tons of resources about it in our emails. So you're going to hear about it if you spend any amount of time with us, which I hope you do. But don't have that fear that's going to hold you back that, oh, I need to have 100,000 followers on Instagram. I need to hit that Kardashian level before I can start something that's meaningful, because that's absolutely not the case. If you are bringing people together for a really strong, big purpose, they're going to get results they can't get anywhere else. And that is going to be the flywheel that helps grow your community. And so just to reinforce that point a little bit, I want to show you a couple case studies to kick us off that show you these communities that are very intentional, focused, and are thriving because they have a clear big purpose. So Marnie's going to pull this first one up, and we will share the link in the chat. This Mighty Network is called Goes to 11, which, if you're of a certain age like myself, is a great reference. And he is a sound engineer. So you can see right there, 170 plus members. You know, this is a number that has probably grown a little bit since we last featured this story, but that's not 10,000 members, right? That's not 50,000 members. And he even said, I wanted to focus on quality over quantity. I wasn't looking for a membership of 50,000 people. I wanted a group of people who would be really active, who cared about each other, and who were out there working on shows and looking to improve themselves. This is a membership for audio engineers. So he found this niche. He knew what he could bring to the table. He knew he was just a half step ahead. That's another fear that I would really love for you to let go of. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a 10,000 hour master student who has 400 hours of content ready to post. It's not about that. He knew he had just a little bit of insight, and that if he brought the right people together, they could all learn together. So he created 2 membership tiers. One is for students, he's giving back to his community. And another one is a mastermind for people that's about $50 a month. So you can do the math, $50, 200 members, not a huge community, but a really, really great business. So Brady just shared the link to this. I would love for you to check it out, just to get a feeling for when you have a strong, big purpose, you structure your community in a way that really allows people to connect. You build it on a mighty network, just saying. You're going to be able to be successful, and you can let go of those fears that is anybody going to show up, because you have that really strong, big purpose. The other one I want to show you is another really interesting niche mighty network. And this is all about equestrians. Again, she has under 200 members. She structured it as this mentorship group with really deep, focused coaching. This one is about $120 a month. And she says it's designed to be a very intimate group. People who are in the membership group take it very seriously. They want to be professionals themselves. They want to learn from each other. And I know some people are like, $120 a month. How am I going to get people to pay for that? It's going to be a ghost town. Think about it, right? You pay attention to what you pay for. So your big purpose means you're offering people something super valuable. It's might not be a big purpose that's going to resonate with the entire world. And that's kind of the point. You're going to find your people. You're going to be offering them something valuable. Because they're paying, they're going to pay attention and contribute to this community. And it's become better. It's going to become better with each person who joins is going to bring something new to the table. And you start to have that network effect that's super, super powerful. So this is the Willing Equine. And Brady's also posted this one in the chat, so you can check it out. We have an entire library of success stories like these, of all types of people. Great, Marnie, thank you. You know, you can see outer work. Linnea is doing really important anti-racism work. We have Top Stitch Makers, which is a brick and mortar sewing store that shifted to digital during the pandemic. Birth workers, creatives, all sorts of networks, you know, from financial services to dog groomers. So if you're wondering, is there somebody like me using a mighty network successfully, I'd really encourage you to spend some time on this page and get inspired, and also just learn some practical tips. And I will say that a lot of these people are community design graduates, which is exciting. And we'll do another little round of success stories at the end if we have time, because I just feel like seeing real people who have done this is the best way to learn and be inspired. We have a few other resources I just want to point out before we kind of dig into the tour. One is our help center, our FAQ. So all these articles are structured. How do I? How can I? Where do I? Right? These are the questions you may have as you're kind of digging into the product. We're going to show you a ton today, give you a ton of really useful information, but this is still a great place to bookmark and come back to. And through here, there's a way for you to reach out to our wonderful team of customer advocates like Brady and Sagar and Diana. And of course, if you are a host on our business plan, you'll also have a way to reach those customer advocates directly from your network. So that is one great resource. And the main one that maybe you heard about this session because you're already a member, maybe you're not, is Mighty Host. This is our Mighty Network where we bring together brands, creators, entrepreneurs who are building mighty networks. So that's our big purpose, right? We bring you together to give you the tools you need to be super successful and get those results to grow, launch, experiment with, your mighty network and turn it into a thriving business. So it's totally free to join. It's a free open space, and we're in there all day, every day, answering questions, posting resources, sharing events like this. It's also where our community design masterclass takes place within this community. So we'll show you a little bit more about that later. But if you have not joined, join. It's a really inspiring place. You can connect with other creators that may be in the same vertical as you, have a similar background, and I think you're going to find it's a really positive and empowering community. Awesome. So,
awesome, exactly.
Pardon?
I said we've got so many links coming in here. Just so you know, when we post this back, we will actually put these links in the recap inside Mighty Host. So if you're like open up all your tabs, that's awesome. And also know we've got you in the replay, which we'll post today.
Yeah, furiously bookmarking. I know you all are. That's great. So we are going to talk a little bit about community design today. And another kind of big foundational question people always have is, what do I have to do before I take community design, right? Community design is the class where we teach you how to build a community that is super valuable, that you can charge for, and that is so well designed, it basically runs itself, which is the dream. So we're going to teach you how to do that. What should you come into that class with? There are 3 steps I encourage you to take that you could take in the next 5 minutes as I tell you about them. 1, create your mighty network, right? This is a great starting point. We have a 14-day free trial of the business plan. You're going to get to see all of the things that unlocks, like courses. Courses are a huge, amazing feature of a mighty network that we'll tell you about a little bit later, and that is on the business plan. So you're going to want to start your free trial if you have not already. Number 2, start your free trial. You're going to be in your own mighty network. You're going to be in this world that is yours to play and explore with. And you're going to want to visit the Mighty Checklist. So Marnie is going to the Mighty Checklist, which is in network settings, which is in our Mighty Network Mighty Host, of which we are hosts. So this is, we get a gold star, right? We are 100% complete. Yours will be 0%, so you can work towards that. But one thing I want to tell you is, 1, you do not have to be at 100% before you attend community design, or even before you launch your network. This is just a place where you can kind of take a little bit of a tour of all this different features and settings of a mighty network. And what I love about the Mighty Checklist is we're giving you templates and tools and learnings and education exactly in these little items. So it's super easy to go through, get started. The fastest you could probably do all of this is an hour. We need to have like a Guinness World Record. I want to see somebody beat that. But you don't have to do it all at once. Before community design, set up your network, visit the network settings and the Mighty Checklist just to get a feel for a little bit of what your mighty network could do. And we're going to give you the tools to start to fill out some of these things, like your big purpose article. Also, you're going to want to go and see what other tools you can connect to your mighty network. And I like to tell people to do this, before they go too far down the path, because I think you start to see, if you are moving a community or you have a business already set up, oh, I can connect my web domain to my mighty network. I can use Zapier, which is I'm going to say digital duct tape. I think, Marnie, you say the internet's middleman. Zapier is a way for you to connect different apps together, and it works with Mighty Networks, and it works with about, let's see, we say 3,000 plus. So I'm going to say at least 2,999 other apps. Some popular connections might be ConvertKit or MailChimp for email, HubSpot if you have a CRM. So you don't have to connect these things, but it's nice as you're getting started to see, oh, if I'm using this tool over here and I want to use a Mighty Network, these are the things that play well together. You can also integrate Zoom, which is super, super awesome if you want to do live events. We're using Crowdcast, which is another option. Zoom is great for workshops. We use it for our office hours, and it's an amazing experience, especially on mobile. Your members will be able to just click and sign in and engage with you. So that's another integration I always like to call out. So 3 steps: create your network, visit the checklist, poke around, see what you want to plug in. Everything else about getting started with your Mighty Network is going to come from your big purpose, which is covered in week 1 of the Community Design Masterclass. We just did it. People are still watching that replay. People are still posting their big purpose in that community. As you'll see, there's lots of feedback. There's lots of encouragement. People are starting to get super, super clear on why they're bringing people together. Everything else, how you set it up, the structure, the landing page, that's all going to come later. Once you get clear on that big purpose, you're going to have a really, really great chance of success because there is a super strong motivation for what you're doing. Annette says it also sends reminders to members automatically about Zoom events, which was super convenient. Great call, Annette. It is super convenient, and it helps create that engagement for your members where they are engaged in your community and showing up, and you're not going to have that empty room syndrome. So I have been talking for a while. I'm going to pass the mic and have a sip of coffee as Marnie tells you a little bit about the basic structure of a Mighty Network. And I see the Ask a Questions coming in. Definitely post those because we want to make sure we get to them either with our customer advocates or at the end.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. All right. So I'm going to do some showing and telling at the same time here. One of the things I just like to start with, and we will go deeper into some of the things that Jane just talked about for the Mighty checklist. So that's where we're going to anchor the next bit of time. But first, just taking a big step back, your Mighty Network, everyone who joins has general membership, right? So you've got this, think of your main network as the thing that's in common with everyone. And then you can do groups, or you can do courses, or you can have both happening. And that's one level deeper. So for us, we'll take you inside the Community Design Masterclass today as an example of, a deeper experience where there's a cohort of folks going through something. You can also think about ways that what's happening in your main network can help bring people into those, whether they're paid experiences or maybe it's a private group around something that's of this special interest or a special thing that they, it's kind of not for everybody. It's for a subset of your folks. So there's a lot of flexibility here. I want you to know, just like Jane said, you can start and then you can add as you go. So you don't need all the things at the beginning. You need to get like 30 people in your first 30 days and things start really moving, or you can have a much bigger launch if you're ready to have a bigger launch. So you have a lot of options here. So let's start with where all of you would start and where your members will start, which is the front door to your Mighty Network. So I'm going to show you what we call landing pages. And again, it's in your Mighty checklist a little bit further down. I'm going to show you a few examples. So your front door is something that's built in, and you populate this. You put in your branding, you put in your imagery. The Happy Startup School, they have a paid front door. So I'm going to show you first what a paid membership looks like. First of all, you're going to really make the case because people can't quite see inside yet. So you want to make sure that your landing page expresses what's really happening here. So they've got a Venn diagram that explains their philosophy. They have a real thing that's been happening for quite a while here on Mighty Networks, and also they've done a lot of in-person events. And their goal really is to bring people together who are on their entrepreneurial journeys. So you're going to have everything from something where you can put a quote like this. This I love. We've got Carlos and Lawrence doing a little video welcoming folks. You can, again, embed that into your landing page. This is a quick snapshot from inside. These are the topics. These are what people are talking about. Get clear on your vision. And then, of course, they're putting in some testimonials, right? And where they've been featured. Again, we've got Carlos giving a little taster, something that's from a discussion inside. So with all of this, this choose a plan button has been tempting us the whole time here. What is this? How does it work? What does it cost? And this is our integrated payments system that we have. So again, we're not going to have time to go all the way into this. I just want you to have exposure to this is what a payment experience can look like. Monthly membership, annual membership, you can choose. And in this try free, they actually have a free trial that they have put up here. So again, they're making the case, and even a little bit further down here, we've got some benefits, and people can toggle, choose, and then they're going to go straight into a payment flow and get access into the network. It's the same thing for a paid group or a paid course, or you can even have a bundle of 3 courses, or the front door membership and a membership to an ongoing, let's say, private coaching experience or group coaching experience that's inside, so more premium level. Lots of things you can do here. Again, we have a whole kind of major section of that help center we were showing you, and folks like Brady are on the other side of the host help and chat to be able to help you through that. But we've got you. But this is a paid front door. Okay.
Amy just asked, can I set up my paid community with a free trial?
Mm-hmm. If you, that offer to a few people. Amy, can you just clarify if you mean your paid community, whether you're talking about being on the Mighty Networks free trial, the trial will be free. Yeah, so the way that the free trial works is you have a lot of different options. They are quite generous here. It's a month. You can do 3 days. You can do a week. There's a kind of drop-down menu when you set up a payment plan. When people do sign up for that free trial, if I had gone through all the way through the payment flow there, I am putting in my payment information. I'm putting in my credit card information. So after the length of the trial, they're going to be billed for whatever the ongoing experience is. Yeah, so the trial will be free. There's also a way to invite people through your paywall in a free way, and Brady can maybe put the link here in the chat as well. So you can always, give VIP folks or those that you're asking to help co-create with you. There's a way to have it hidden, but something that gets them in completely for free. So, all right. Let's go to the second kind of front door. So that was the paid front door. Now there are different privacy settings. This is, if those of you who are familiar with Singularity University, they're all over the globe. They've been running programs for years. This is one of what a front door looks like that's public. Mighty Host, which we were looking at earlier, also we have a public landing page. So you can see that there's a join button. So I can just join right away, or I can explore. If I go into explore, this is what your members will be able to do and see. And they can look around. This is not the personalized experience that we've been seeing in my Mighty Host, where I'm belonging to courses, where I'm following topics, I'm in conversations. This is more of a look around. Is this really for me? We can see the host Morgan has this fabulous question that lots and lots of people have been answering. We've got some listen twice as much as you talk. That's a great one. And if I was already logged in, I could share it or I could reply, but here I want to do it, so it's going to prompt me to join. Or maybe I'm trying to RSVP to one of the events, the weekly events that the SU team is doing in here. So that's public. So it gives people a chance to look around. You can also have it so that the bots of the internet, those search engine bots, can also look around. And that is if SEO is something that you're looking at and it's great for business to be totally open like this, that is something you can do. Now, of course, they also have, just so you know, there's these different layers down. So discussion groups. These, again, some of these I can just go in and join. If I'm trying to do this, it will prompt me to create an account. But there's a lot of ways that you can also, have more intimate experiences. I think there's about 26,000 people in this network right now. All right, different front door. We're going to switch to a new place. So this is a private setting for your network. And with this, you can see, again, you want, before people are going to request to join, you can also invite them straight through so that they're not going through this request to join process. You just know that they should be part of your network. When I look at this, I just think I'm so clear on who this is for, right? I'm feeling very welcome. I understand what's happening, who's in the MEGA, what am I going to get? And as you think about, again, what you want to have at your front door, showing what's inside can be very powerful. Again, these are just screenshots from inside the Mighty Networks apps that the We All Grow team has kind of put into probably Photoshop or something, and then embedded this image in here. And again, another really great dynamic way of talking about what's going on and why it's valuable, and again, aligned with your big purpose. You can see that that's in here. And again, faces, this person is just, they're laughing. They're having this amazing time. Super attractive. And if this is the right thing for me, I can very easily request to join.
Yeah, I want to call out that, and I posted it in the chat, but just in case it flew by before you could see it, we have plenty of people who come to Mighty Networks and don't even have a separate website, right? With this landing page, you can customize it, you can make it exactly what you want. So if your focus is going to be your community and the courses, the membership, the groups you're having within, then you may not even need to have, your extra website happening over somewhere else. Of course, you can, and you can connect those things to your Mighty Network. But I just want to call out that that's not a requirement because we have this beautiful landing page builder.
Exactly. And, just even if we look up here, we've got a URL, right? So if you do already have an established website, you can put join my community or join us, or whatever the call to action button is you want on your main website, and then you just click them right here, and they end up on your landing page. Same thing with the paywall that we were looking at earlier. You can even drop people straight into a paid, buying plan experience from somewhere if you already have an internet presence somewhere else. So they do match. So you can either just use this, like Jane was saying, or if you're like, oh, but I've got, all my people are used to coming to this particular thing, this particular place, you can connect them really easily. All right, so that's about just getting in the front door, some choices you can make about getting in the front door. Again, this is in your Mighty checklist, along with the Help Center article about how to make decisions, what are these different kind of settings, and how do you want to start. All right, so with that, I'm going to go back into Mighty Hosts. And one thing that's really pretty amazing is this is the heartbeat for every member. So everything I belong to is showing my personal feed here, right? I can also narrow it down. And one little hot tip for you is being able to get to unanswered. That makes your feed, just anything that someone on your network might have posted that day that hasn't been chimed in or answered or replied to by another member of the community. So you can, make sure people are seen and heard. You can also see that there are different ways and different elements here, and even in the last activity or popular, there's different ways that members can get their personalized feed even more personalized. The algorithm is driven by the human. It's not driven by something in the outside world that's trying to drive ad revenue. It's really driven by like what's most relevant to every single member. So I think that's a really powerful thing. And then I'm going to show you very quickly this little plus sign is the different kinds of content, and don't enough time to go deep into this today, but just to give you a sense that when you create an article, you can add it. We'll talk about topics in a minute, but you can add a title, And then you can add and create a rich media like experience. So a lot of what we were just seeing on the landing page is also the article format. You can do it in events as well, in your courses. So you can see that there's the ability to add a photo. You can also add a video link, files. I'm just going to click on this embedding one because we actually have a very robust set of things that you can put inside an article, event, course or lesson that can be Airtable, it could be Google Slides, it could be an audio file, an audio clip from SoundCloud. So just know that, and we'll put this in the chat. You can always go back to this Help Center article, which has the entire the entire list and also how to do it well, and be able to take those other parts of the world of the internet and put it inside your Mighty network. So that is I think really just a good way to jump into our favorite.
Yeah.
And for driving member engagement. Yeah.
Polls and questions. Let's do it. I want to call out. So when you think about, okay, why have we taken the time to build this tool where you can embed things, where it's a seamless experience for your members? It all goes back to member engagement, right? One of the reasons why a Mighty Network is so powerful is that there's not a ton of distractions, right? It's not a Slack channel where, oh, I'm going to jump to my work channel and there's a million other things going on. It's not a Facebook group where it's like, oh, well, there's another group just like this. Let me poke around there. There's grandma's birthday. It's your world. And so we want to make sure that you're keeping people engaged, and we're making it really easy to do that. So you're not posting something that they are then going off platform to kind of deal with, and you're expecting them to come back. It really is this beautiful, easy to use world that you can customize. So I just want to call that out because that is the reason for these really cool features that we're showing you today. It's because it's all about driving that member engagement. Happy members, happy hosts. And that's what we want to see. So polls and questions. This is a way to get over that fear of, okay, maybe I can get people to join. I have a great big purpose. And are they going to walk into the room and it's going to be crickets? No, we've got you covered. This is called an icebreaker question. And you can access this and set it up right from your Mighty checklist. And it's a question that every new member will be prompted to answer when they join your Mighty Network. So this is ours for Mighty Host. What do you want to get from fellow Mighty Network hosts? And you can see thousands of people have answered it. You have members chiming in and cheering other responses as people join. We see every response. And it's a great way, as soon as somebody joins, to give them a super easy thing to do. And it kind of sets the expectation of, hey, you're here. You're here to contribute, answer this question. You can change it up. You can make it match your monthly themes, which is something we talk about in the Community Design Masterclass. You can make it super silly. You can make it super serious. It really is whatever works for your network to kind of set the expectations of how people are going to engage and show up and get results. You can also post different types of polls and questions in your activity feed. This is something we do regularly in our Mighty Network, Mighty Host, because we want to give our members, again, we want to give them quick ways to check in, quick ways to kind of share their point of view with others, and to see what other people are feeling and saying and learn from those people. And we have a couple really cool ways that you can do that. This first one is called a hot cold question. And it is a very cool graphic, first of all, which I love. And it figuratively, I always try not to say literally when it's not literal. It figuratively allows you to take the temperature of your members. So this one was, how do you feel about asking controversial or thought-provoking questions in your Mighty Network? You can see Marnie's, I'd say you're lukewarm, Marnie, but the bulk of people are feeling red hot about it, right? And what I love about this particular type of poll and question is the discussion it creates underneath. So not only are you getting great member engagement with tons of people answering the question, but then it kicks off this really interesting conversation where people are saying, well, I feel good about it sometimes, but here's a nuance that I couldn't get across in the poll. And this is one where you're going to learn a ton about your members, and they're going to learn a ton about each other, which is always a great thing. You can also ask a percentage question. So this is similar, right? In that your members will see, oh, here's where I stand. And they'll also get a feel for the community average. So what percentage of your posts do you schedule in advance? This is a hot tip. You can schedule posts in advance in your Mighty Network. You can head to our YouTube. We have a short video that shows you how to do it. So we can see here that, Marnie schedules about 50% of her post versus the community average. People are doing things more in the moment, it seems like. So again, as the host, we're learning something really interesting about our members, and they're learning something about each other as well. And maybe some of them are getting an interesting insight, right? The bonus is a great way to kind of add that extra level of engagement. So, hey, answer the poll question, but then give us a little bit more info in the comments. And finally, we have our classic, and I do want to call out the icebreaker question, that format where you're just asking an open-ended question. You can do that in the feed too. It doesn't just have to be in the icebreaker. So we're just showing you some other kinds. But finally, we have a multiple choice question, the classic question type, right? You give people a couple options. Again, when you're thinking about polls and questions, and we have an entire guide in your Mighty checklist on how to use this feature, you want to think about what makes it really easy for your members to engage. So multiple choice, they pick one, always include an other so they can kind of sound off in the comments, which we did here. And again, it's creating a great discussion, and people are learning from each other, right? And this was also a learning for us. It was interesting to see what people felt like was the most important result for them. And this was a fascinating poll and question that personally I kept coming back to see, how is this discussion changing and evolving? So I really encourage you to use this feature, because then it's not, okay, what 2,000 word article am I going to post today? It's what's something I can help my members learn about each other? What's something I can learn from my members? And start there. This is a really easy thing to play with. If you scroll up, Marnie,
Yeah.
This is a great segue into topics as well, because the reason this is a beautiful Barney purple is because it is assigned to this topic, analytics and measuring success. And topics, which Marnie will talk about, you have a lot of customization in, of course, what your topics are, and also the colors associated with them, the graphic people see when they come up. So this purple color was totally customizable, chosen by us. It's a beautiful shade, but you will have a lot of control over what your polls and questions look like if you're assigning them to different topics. And with that, let's talk topics.
Let's go there. All right. So I'm just going to show you. So when you're in something, you can get all the way into the topic just by clicking or tapping on the tag. Again, we're in the web version here, right? Like there's this whole other world of Mighty Networks mobile apps, which I think we didn't talk about too much at the beginning, but iOS for iPhone, iPad, and Android. So all these things happen seamlessly back and forth between the web and the world of mobile devices, which is awesome. So one of the things, I'm just going to come to the full topics list. So you determine this as the host of the network, and you want to think about topics as a way to informally kind of gather conversations, and lots of different things can show up in a topic. It can be any of those questions we were just looking at, those question types or polls. Events can be tagged to a topic. You can also have articles, or even something called quick posts, which is more of a status update or a quick post. I guess is sort of self-explanatory. But when you think about people can follow different topics, they will see those preferenced in their feeds. Your members, again, back to like what's relevant to them. That is one of the actions they can take on a topic. And then also you can decide. So for Mighty Success Stories, for instance, we have narrowed that so only our team can put something in that topic. It's only on our drop down list when we create a new piece of content or an event, just so that stays as a kind of administrator only conversation. But everyone can RSVP to those events or comment or cheer, any of those things. But the main list there is going to be just straight from our team. So topics, how you gather people around a conversation. I'm just going to click into success stories since I was just talking about it. And folks can either look at it like this, or they can switch to a feed view. So that's the list view. They can see, this is one of those stories of awesome and our case studies we were talking about earlier. And you can definitely see that there's, again, a lot of flexibility for members to engage in the way that is going to be most meaningful for them. So that's the quick lowdown on topics. All right. Sometimes we get asked about groups. We actually, I'm just going to go back to the global SU community that I was talking about earlier. So their groups are in here. Again, they got to a certain size and they started seeing energy around things, and so they added these as they went. It's not something I necessarily recommend doing out the gates unless you're maybe you're bringing people over from some other kind of smaller group experience. Whether that's from Facebook or Slack or Discord or wherever, or even in, just an email group or WhatsApp group. If you already have people that are gathered and used to being in that smaller group environment, and you have a program that's connected to it, that's a great use for groups. It's kind of like a mini network. And then also, I would just say, don't feel like you need to add groups right away. You actually kind of recommend, unless you have a specific purpose, that you just keep everyone in that main network area as you're getting launched, and then you can always add them later as the SU community did. So those who are really excited about some of these things with the and there is definitely a group that's excited about that. Almost 2,000 of them. They're going deep into those development goals here, and they have a program around it that's happening inside. So just keep that in mind with groups. Great thing. You can also call groups, or what they're calling premium benefits. It's actually our courses feature, so you can rename those in the left-hand navigation. And support and resources, just a quick side note, is a custom navigation link that if you're on the business plan, you will have access to putting whatever you want there. Over in hosts, we're encouraging you to visit our help center, but you have some other ways of customizing this left-hand navigation with groups, courses, help center, and we'll continue adding to that over the course of this year.
Yeah. We didn't talk too much about it in this particular session. We've talked about it in the past, but again, that customization from the colors, from the graphics, from the link on the side to what you call the sections of your Mighty Network, you can see that the different networks Marnie's kind of poked around, they all feel really different. It's because you have a ton of control. So if you are coming into your Mighty Network with an established brand, you're like, I have my logo, I have my brand colors, these are the kind of images we use, great. It is not going to look like a cookie cutter thing where you have to force it to look a certain way. It can really become your world. And there may be times when now that you're kind of learning all about this, you might be like, I was in a Mighty Network and I didn't even know it. And that can happen, which is great. We'll take it. Yeah. Marnie's showing you some of the branding options here, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can, we obviously have some themes you can use, but you can really customize it. And I think that's so powerful. CL says, I love being able to set up my topics with graphics that fit the topics. Loved it. Yes, exactly. Right. You can have a lot of fun with it. And that's what I'm a visual person. I think that's one of the most fun things to me is once it all comes together. What does this look like? What are the feelings this brand is bringing to you through this network? Let's talk courses. So a couple things as we dive in is that courses are really a natural fit for what people are trying to do with their Mighty Networks. If we go back to that idea of a big purpose where you're bringing people together to master something interesting or important together that they cannot do anywhere else, courses are a fit. We built them because people were asking for them, right? So we're listening to you. We heard a lot of people were saying, hey, I want to be able to run my courses within my Mighty network because right now I'm trying to stitch together 5 different things. People are going over here, and then to pay, they're coming here, and for the community, they're coming here, right? And people realized how powerful it would be if everything was in their Mighty network. So when we build it, the people who are using courses has gone up and to the right is an understatement, right? People are loving this feature, and it's because it fits so perfectly with what they're trying to do with their Mighty network. So there are 3 types of courses you can run within a Mighty network. You can run a course that's just content. If you have a ton of resources you want to share in kind of a structured way, and you just want them to live somewhere within your Mighty network so people can easily get them, super easy to do. You could even call your course section Resource Center if you wanted to do that. That's very simple. Or you could have a course in there called Resource Center. Again, very customizable. You can run a course with content and a community, which is what we've done with our course called the Mighty Refresh. This is a little intensive, short course that you can come into at any point if you feel like, oh, maybe I took community design, but I want a little refresh on a certain part of it, or I just want to dip in because I want to see these results in my community and I feel like I need a little push. Again, it's a refresh. So you can come in here. We have all the course material that's set up, and we have an activity feed, right? There is a community that is only for members of this course where they can go through the materials at their own time, and then they can ask a question, have a conversation, and Marnie has too many tabs open. But they can
I have too many
engage.
tabs. I have 3 at-home school things happening on Zoom, plus my husband on Zoom right now. Like, we upgraded our internet, but it is not going well today.
We all know this struggle. It's totally cool. But the Mighty Refresh is a place where we have combined content with the community. And that's a model that's really successful because as people are learning, they're also engaging with other people who are kind of learning the same thing, which is great. And if you really want to take that to the next level, let's jump to community design, because this is where we are building the course live as we're going with a community at the center of it, right? So technical difficulties, we will get it sorted. But
I know, I'm like, somehow my internet connection is okay on Crowdcast, but I'm gonna come right back. Keep talking, Jane. You're doing great.
Hey, we're doing things live. It's cool. This is part of the fun of being in a community where we're all figuring it out together. No worries. So let me talk a little bit about the power of having community with your course content and building it live. So a couple things. One, you can build it as you go, right? Again, going back to, you don't need to be that expert with 500 hours of perfectly produced masterclass style video with the good lighting and the cool graphics. You can engage with people live as you go. It's what we do with this course. We have live sessions, we have office hours, again, where we're bringing people together to have important conversations, to learn from each other. And as a course creator, it gives you a ton of flexibility. And as the member, you're getting faster results because you're on a path with the same people, right? This is called cohort-based course, cohort-based learning. It's why when we all go to college or school, right, where most of us are with a group or with a class and we're going through things together. And if you've done that, you can think about how powerful that is, right? I still talk to my college cohort because we learned things at the same time and we were on the same journey together. And that means people are coming back to the community over and over again, which is really cool. I want to talk a little bit more about the Community Design Masterclass. Oh, great. Good call, Marnie. So this is the landing page that's linked below, which you can check out. We have a couple just success stories. I'll actually talk a little bit about Martinez more because he is one of our fave graduates. And we talk about the instructor, who's Gina. This is led by our CEO, who has had a front row seat to several thousand successful communities. You can read a little bit more about her background on this page if you'd like, but She and Audra, our senior community designer who co-run the class, they have both seen, okay, we have all this data about what makes communities successful. And they created this class to share that with the people building on Mighty Networks. What we'll cover is we're going to go through 5 weeks, and you're going to learn what are the basic principles of community design, right? This is where we talk about having your big purpose and getting really clear on what that is and your ideal members. We're going to talk about how to plan out your community design, right? What is the year in the life? What are the monthly themes? This is going to give you really practical, actionable things, actionable steps to take. We have a ton of templates, of resources, of guides that we'll take you through. So that comes into the weekly calendar and daily actions as well. And we're going to talk about pricing. This is always so important. Excuse me. Pricing, structuring, and running courses, right? Courses are such an important tool. I think even if you're not sure if you would do a course, how you would do a course, if you get super clear on your big purpose, I guarantee all of a sudden 3 or 4 course ideas will start to bubble up because you're like, oh, if I take this group of people that I'm bringing together for this really important thing, they're going to want to learn X, Y, Z. And that starts to kind of create this brainstorm, this ideation for certain courses you could run. So we definitely talk about that. And then how to launch and grow your community, right? You've built this beautiful world. You're doing something super important. The world needs this community. How do you kickstart that growth? How do you start to invite those people in? Remember, it's not about 50,000 people, right? It's about bringing together the people who need your community the most right now and starting from there. This just kicked off. We're just doing week 2 now. You can join at any point. We have people join throughout the 5 weeks. You're going to be welcomed into this cohort. You're going to learn together. And we also have these weekly office hours where you can, these live sessions are done as a crowdcast, but the weekly office hours are on Zoom. You can ask questions. You can get hands-on help. I know I saw someone in the chat saying like, hey, I feel like I need a little more education and help. This is a great place for that, to get some kind of one-on-one, well, not one-on-one, but lots of feedback and lots of direct contact with us, which is great. The class is $349 for the 5-week class. If you are on our business plan, it's $99. And if you are on the community plan, it's $149. So I just want to put the pricing out there because, hey, we know people pay attention to what they pay for. There is a reason why we feel this course is valuable and we price it accordingly. And then the reason why you get a discount with our business or community plans is because we know that the combination of the software and the strategy is a really great recipe for success. I saw another question that asked about, hey, how do I know about what successful Mighty Networks do? And really think about this class as not just successful Mighty Networks, but successful communities. And that's another thing I want to call out. We talk about this class a lot. We sell it a lot. We believe in it a lot. It is not just about communities on Mighty Networks. And I really want to stress this because I think people get confused. This class is actually platform agnostic. So you could take the lessons from this class, take your community somewhere else. We strongly feel that a Mighty Network is the best place to build a thriving community for several reasons, but the class is not about that. It's about how do you structure any community to help get people to results faster? And how do you reframe your thinking from, I need to create all this content and people are coming to me for this content, to people are coming here because they can get results here that they can't get anywhere else. And that is a really powerful shift in thinking. So I definitely encourage you to click the button and learn more. And if you are on our business or community plans, you should get your discounted link. But if not, just reach out to our host help and we can take care of you. Woo, awesome.
Okay, I just wanted one more just plug for, if you've enjoyed our time, right? there are videos like this that are in little tiny bite-sized chunks that are in that Mighty checklist once you start, and also in our help center. So hopefully Brady can put the help center in one more time. It is so you don't have to worry about what's in the left nav. Just go to your Mighty checklist, and that has everything that you need to get started. And again, you don't have to do it all. You don't have to start groups until 6 months, 12 months, maybe never. You can do what's right for you, but the combination of how to use the software and the decisions to make, the strategic decisions, and we didn't have time, but it's a drop down, it's a toggle, it's a choice. So most of the things you're doing are taking things that you already deeply, deeply know about why you want to bring people together. The Community Design Masterclass helps you put that literally into, if you're familiar with Mad Libs, we actually have a Mad Lib format so that you can get things off on the right foot from the strategy standpoint, and lots of guides and organizing sort of principles, if you want to think of it that way. And then again, in that Mighty checklist, what kind of polar question should you ask? How do you ask it? And actually the guide right there, you just tap on it, opens in a new tab, and you've got our best thinking and frameworks about how to get people talking. So I just want to emphasize, I know some folks, you can have a like, should I start? And the answer is yes. Just let their shoulders relax. Just start the free trial. We'll start going through the Mighty checklist. Gina, who also, we've got this video here that I've been showing, but you can absolutely just watch the first few minutes of a video, and she's going to talk about what to do in the checklist. Like, we have all these little tiny experiences that add up to you getting ready to share it with your world. Yep.
Yeah. Very. Sorry, Marty.
So the host help, or the request, so the same people who've been answering your questions here, putting in links, plus a whole other team we have 7 days a week, are available for specific questions, like some of the ones you've been asking today. If you're on the business plan or community plan, you're also going to see this little host help button. You might have seen it when I was showing you inside of Mighty Host. You click that open, the help center is right there, and also you can send a note to our team, and they will get back to you through there. All right.
Yeah. And Mary, I see some questions from you in the feed, and I see there's been lots of questions answered and ask a question, which is great. One thing I want to push you on is, can I get help to make sure I've done something correctly? Try to reframe your thinking, right? Like, we encourage this in community design. It's not about being perfect, right? There are lots of different ways to experiment into your Mighty network to change something. And of course, if something is broken, we're going to serve you up an error message and walk you through, hey, this didn't work because of X, Y, and Z. But it's not really about doing something correctly. It's about, what is your big purpose? And everything flows from that. I know I keep talking about that, and it probably sounds super simplistic, but I have been in enough community design communities to see it happen, where people are like, oh my God, I finally got my big purpose. And now I realize what I want to do here. I realize what my course is going to be. I know what my icebreaker question is going to be. And it all flows from there. And the technical support, we got you covered. With host help, with the FAQ. You mentioned you were looking for videos. You can check out our help center. There's tons of little videos in there. There's videos on our YouTube. But the technical piece, we've set it up in a way where we're trying to make it as easy as possible. And once you do that work of getting your big purpose, you're going to be in flow state, and it's going to be awesome. And yes, you do have unlimited access to the masterclass once it's complete. And we just wrapped one in February. That community is still hopping, and there's people now sharing, hey, I wanted to come back and share my win because we're almost at 100 members and we launched our community and this is how we did it. So it's a great community to stay engaged with, because you're going to follow with your graduates, your fellow graduates, and see what's happening with their communities, and you'll all learn together. I've talked too much. We've gone over. You can come back and watch this recap anytime you like. And, I had a great time with you this morning. I'm sure Marnie did too. Thank you for joining us. And you know where to find us.
Absolutely. And we hope you have a fantastic day. And now you know more of the folks here on the team. as well as what resources you have in your hands. And we look forward to what you're creating. Share those ones with us too.
Yeah. All right. Bye. XOXO, Mary. See ya.